Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Space Coast. It's been a while. It's been a little bit of a while, I would say. About 2 weeks now. I'm still your host of the most, though, Julon Williams, and today we're going to be going on a tour through the cosmos to talk about health and wellness. This is an episode that I think is really important because, well, I was taken out to the side because of my health. I wasn't taking care of my health, and because of that, I had to miss 2 episodes of this. I really wanted to do more for everybody, but because I wasn't taking care of my health, and being sure that I was doing okay and making sure that I was up to snuff, I had to miss out, and unfortunately that's something I humbly regret. So we're going to be talking about health and wellness because health is wealth after all, as we all know. Your health is rather important to you. I mean, you should all know this by now. I'm pretty sure you've made it this far in life knowing that health is important. But when I say it's important, I say it's important for various factors. When you're healthy, you're more inclined to do more things. You're more inclined to take more risks, to try new things. When we're healthy, we feel comfortable in our space, in our location, in ourselves. There's no fear, and because of that, we can try and push our boundaries in different ways. Health is so important, it's so pivotal, and the way we can go about improving our health, well, I mean, there's tons of ways. We can eat healthier. We can have more fruits, use the food triangle in our diets, and be sure that we're not eating out too much junk food. That's one thing I do personally. But there's different ways that we can approach to having some proper health. So today we'll be talking about health and wellness. I'll be talking about health and the stigma of rest in our modern day society. Then I'll be moving on to mental wellness and how it's important to keep a balancing act together. And finally, I'll be finishing off in a way that we can touch on how we can create a balance between work and play, because that's important and pivotal in these times, if you ask me. So to get started, we'll be talking about health and the stigma of rest. Our bodies function better when we feel healthy. There's no doubt about that. When we know we're 100%, we're more capable to give it our all without any sort of issues or any doubts plaguing us. We know when we're not 100%. We can feel it. I mean, I'm pretty sure we have all waken up one day and been like, okay, I know I'm not ready for nothing. I just want a coffee. I don't want to talk to nobody. Days like that happen. I mean, it's understandable. So when we're feeling healthy, it's important that we do our best to use that to our advantage. We can be very productive when we feel healthy because we can do more. We can push that boundaries. We can take those steps that we really need to if we're working towards something or we're trying to finish something. Good health opens a door for many things, for opportunities. You find when we're in good health, we're in a good mood. And when we're in a good mood, we're more receptive and more open to talking to people, to taking more chances, and taking more risks. We can probably find some good job opportunities. You can probably find new hobbies, make some new friends. You can join a book reading club. And now you have a new thing you can do every single week because we're more receptive and more open. Health is so important to every single thing we do because without health, we probably wouldn't even be here. Another important thing with health is it helps build important and really good habits. When we live healthy lifestyles, we start incorporating habits that keep us sane and keep us more mentally well in different facets and different capacities. For instance, if you want to be healthier, you maybe wake up every morning and go for a jog. And as you keep doing that over and over and over again, that quickly becomes a habit. We talked about habit the last time I was here, which is 2 weeks ago. I hope you all remember what I was saying about that. That habits take some time to develop. But if we look for and strive towards a healthy lifestyle, these habits can develop naturally in a variety of different ways, especially if we take the time and the effort to make sure we're trying to live a proper, healthy lifestyle. Because you know, it's like you try to live that lifestyle, eventually everything you've been doing starts adding up and becomes a habit that you're trying to build. Now, I said something earlier about the stigma of rest. And I say that because in our modern day society, we are focused on the grinds. Grind culture is so prevalent, it is everywhere you look. You look at any sort of mental health or mental wellness or productivity page, and the first thing they're telling you is keep going, keep pushing, don't give up, no tiring, no breaks, no rest. And while that may be helpful in some cases, I figure no rest is so inconclusive and so unhelpful. Rest is so important to us. We all know that we all need rest. At the end of the day, when we go home at night, we all sleep. And I know, me personally, I need all 8 hours of sleep because if I don't get that, I'm a bit crotchety. You don't want to see me like that. Sleep is so pivotal. We all know we all need sleep because I know everybody out here is sleeping at nights. Hopefully. Fingers crossed that you are. I hope you are sleeping well at night. Because we all need rest at the end of the day. Our bodies need it. It's pivotal. As as hard as we work, we need to rest as hard as well. There's an important balance that we need to keep in place. But with grinding culture, we kind of toss resting and days where we can relax to the wayside. We look at it in a way that's not conclusive. It's not going to help you do anything. It's a waste of time more than anything in the society, in the way we frame it. And that could be further from the truth. Like, it's so incorrect. I hate that sort of asset because we sort of think about life as monetary. Like, everything's monetized in a grind culture. Everything we do is focused on getting money. You work your 9 to 5, great. Awesome. Now you better drive your Uber, get some more money. Oh, you do a hobby? Good. Now make it monetized. Find a way you can sell this. And while it can be helpful in some cases, we can all use some extra money, especially in some tight times like these, but it's important to realize that not everything needs to be monetized, and that rest isn't so important. And if we toss it all to the wayside, we'll burn ourselves out faster than you can imagine. So when people say, oh no, don't even think about resting, I can't help but raise my eyebrows because we all need to rest. Because no matter what you do, at the end of the day, you will have to sleep. Sleep is important. Sleep is pivotal to making sure that you get back to 100% full capacity, full power. And we can't ignore that. So rest is such a pivotal part. And the thing with grind culture is that any sort of downtime is seen as a waste. And that's so wrong. Because downtime is important. As hard as we work, we need to rest as well. It's imperative that we rest. Because if we don't, we'll burn ourselves out. Now, an important thing you want to do is to listen to your body. When your body tells you something, it's probably telling you something really important. If you wake up and you feel like you're in pain, there's a good reason why, and you might want to go to a doctor to find out. Or if it's not that bad of a pain, you might think, I wonder why I'm feeling this way. Maybe something you ate, maybe you've been pushing yourself too hard. It's important to listen to your body because your body's not going to tell you lies. It's not going to just be like, oh, false alarm, you're actually not tired, you're actually doing okay. There's a good reason for why you feel the way you do. And as I can say, as a personal point, the reason we're talking about this episode was because I was sidelined for about 2 weeks with an illness. I told myself that I would push as hard as I can and take a break for reading week. I didn't even make it to reading week. I lasted the Saturday before reading week before I got so sick I couldn't do anything. And the reason why is I ignored my body, I ignored all the signs that are telling me you should take a rest, go to a doctor, go do this. And I just kept pushing and I kept working. I volunteer here, I have schoolwork, I work, I do client work, I do my own projects, and I was balancing all of that, taking no time to rest. And because of that, it harmed me. I was forced to rest. And the thing is, your body will tell you when you have to rest. You can set time to rest or your body will do it for you. And that's what's important, that you need to set that time and figure out ways to balance that, because if you don't, you will have to rest eventually against your will. So that's a little bit about health and the stigma of rest in these modern days and times. It's important to keep your health in mind. It's important to stay healthy and do your best to keep that healthy mindset and keep that healthy lifestyle. It can open the door for opportunities. You'll feel a lot better about what you're doing. You'll be much more productive. And it's just important to have good health, especially if you want to live a long and prosperous life. Once again, in the culture we live in, grinding is all the rage. There's no time for downtime. We have to monetize everything we do, and that's not the case at all. Find that time for downtime. Take a break. Don't let your body take you a break for you. You have to take that break personally, because if you don't, you'll be sidelined without any choice or any say in the matter. So that was a little talk about our health for the first little bit. If you like the show so far, please give us a like and a follow on Instagram or Twitter at space__coast. That's 2 underscores. Can't get the first one. And we have an amazing team here at our Media Hub, so give us all a follow on any sort of social media you can think of at DCSA Media Hub. For right now, though, we'll take a small little musical break with Pack Your Romantic Mind by Stereolab, only here on RiotRadio.ca. And we're back here at the Space Coast. Welcome back, hope you enjoyed. That was Don't Say No by Speed, Glue, and Shiki, a Japanese band from the 1970s. So today we're talking about health on the Space Coast, because it's such an important piece of life, and I feel like we got to talk about this importance a bit more. In particular, we talked earlier about how health is important to everything we do, how we can improve our productivity by staying healthy, and when we are at full health, we're more inclined to try new things, to push our boundaries, and to spread our wings, to see what we can do and see how far we can go in whatever it is we want to do. It also opens the door for opportunities. I also talked about grind culture and how it is not the wave. As cool as it sounds, it's not the best. And after a while, you start realizing that you do need to rest and not everything can be work all the time before you burn yourself out. For right now, I want to talk about mental wellness because as you've been noticing recently, there's been more incline and more focus on mental health, which is a great thing because for a long time, people would not even care about mental health. I know the amount of times people in my life have told me, don't care about it, just keep pushing. But that's not the case at all. Mental health is so important to staying functioning and being a well-rounded human being. Both mental health and our physical health work hand in hand. Think of them riding a tandem bicycle. If one has to work harder, if one has to work harder, it'll get tired, and vice versa. You got to make sure you're balanced, because balance is key. Because if you don't balance and you're working one part too hard, and in turn you will tire yourself out, you will make yourself sick, and once again you will be forced to rest against your own will. In these days, mental health is such an important thing, and it's important to figure out and find ways that we can use to make sure our mental health is doing okay and we're not just burning ourselves out on a constant rate. There's various ways you can go about improving or keeping yourself sane in situations that seem rather stressful. For instance, if you are working on a project that's driving you nuts, it's imperative that you take some time away from it. Just as much time as you can if possible. Like I'm talking about, if you can't take a lot of time away, at least 10 to 15 minutes minimum. Because when you take breaks, when you're working hard on something that's stressing you out, it really takes that load off you. You really stop thinking about it all that much. It doesn't feel as taxing or as stressful or as scary as it once was. You can take some time to think about it from a different angle. When I say take a break, I mean to do something that's calming and relaxing that gets your mind away from what it is you're working at, but at the same time, something that's not too taxing to the brain that you start focusing on that entirely. When I say like a 10 to 15 minute break, I mean taking a small walk, making some tea, reading some few pages of a book, talking to your friend, calling your grandma or something along those lines. Something that's nice and relieving where you can just not focus on the task at hand for just a second to get your mind clear, to get your anxiety down and your brain back focused, but not something that will take your time away. Don't start playing a video game. As enticing as that is, you will probably keep playing that video game and not get back to that project work. If you're going to take a break from a thing you're working on, like a project or a paper or something along those lines, you got to make sure that you keep on task in that break. You don't have to think about that project all the time. However, keep it in the back of your mind and think of some ways you can approach it in a different manner or different factual or different location can probably help you out a little in the long run. You got to definitely give yourself some downtime and to unwind and take your time off it if it's very scary and it's not helping you out in the long run. Different ways you can definitely improve some mental health is by speaking to somebody. If you're terrified of something or something's stressing you out intensely, talking to someone you're close with, someone you're a confidant, someone you can express your feelings, and someone who gets you definitely helps out. It really makes things a lot easier. And when you get things off your chest, you're more relaxed, more calm because someone listened to you. And when they listen to you, they understand your grief, you feel understood, and it's important to have that feeling because when we don't feel understood, we feel horrible. It's hard to be happy when you realize that a lot of people don't understand what you're saying or don't take efforts to try to. Another thing to keep our mental wellness in check is by having you days. A day in particular just for you, no one else. No work, no classes, no nothing. If you can find a day in the week where you have the least amount of responsibilities, you can get those responsibilities done early, and you can spend the rest of the day working for yourself, doing what you like to do, that it will help you out in the long run. It's so beneficial for your mental health, especially if you can do it on a consistent rate so you can know, oh, Wednesdays are me days. However, I will say it's important to find that balance. You don't want to make it every single Wednesday because if you do that, then, well, now you never do anything on Wednesdays. And while that can be helpful to some people, it can start to add up, especially if you are busy all week and you do need some time to get some stuff done. Having a me day once or twice a month can definitely be helpful and beneficial. And by having them spaced out like that, the rewards that you get from finishing a successful day like that or just going through a day where it's just nothing but relaxation feel much better than having it every other day and just being like, okay, well, I know I don't have to do anything today. It's important to have balance. Everything in moderation, because we have moderation, things feel a lot better. When you have a chocolate once every blue moon, that chocolate tastes a lot better versus having it every single day, because you're used to that flavor, you're used to that temptation of relaxation or whatever it may be. But having a certain thing that you enjoy once every so often adds so much more to it. The scarcity does make it a lot better. So if you're gonna have yourself a me day, it's important to have it on a certain day or time or once or twice a month, because you can give yourself that time. Not only you feel much more relaxed and rejuvenated, it'll be a lot better. However, once again, another caveat is to do it in important rates. As I said earlier, if you don't give yourself time to relax, your body will find time for you. So finding and understanding yourself is an important matter to know when you need that break versus when you don't need that break. And it's important to know when you need it to take it so you don't end up burning yourself out. So mental wellness is an important part of health in general. I'm glad that in more recent years, we've been taking more efforts to focus upon and really talk about mental health and ways we can combat it and ways we can make it feel, ways we can feel a lot better rather than trapping ourselves in a box and feeling stressed and scared about everything. Like I said earlier, there are ways we can go about reducing our mental health. We can basically talk about what we're stressed about. We can take some time away from whatever it is that's giving us grief, 10 to 15 minute break, doing something that's productive, but not the same projects. And once again, speaking to people you know will really help you out. Having yourself your me day, but spaced out genuinely so you can enjoy it thoroughly and fully, and not just every other day where you're not really doing anything those days, you're just doing nothing. It's important to have that good balance, and balance is key because we'll be talking about balance in our third segment. For now though, I think it's time we take another little break. If you like the show, please give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at space__coast, that's 2 of them, and give some love to everybody here at this wonderful media hub by giving us a follow on any sort of social media you got. If you can think of it, we probably got an account on it at DCSA Media Hub. For now though, we got Escalator by Reservoir, only here on rightradio.ca. And we're back here on the Space Coast. We're cruising through the cosmos talking about health today, and that was Reward by the Teardrop Explodes. I love saying their name, what a cool band name. In particular, today, we talked about health and stigma of rest so far, and mental wellness and how important and pivotal it is, especially how we have more ways to deal with it in these times. Now I want to talk about the important thing that we need to keep in mind when it comes to rest and work if we want to make sure our health is doing okay. A balance is key in everything we do, and in this situation, that remains truthful. Having a balance between work and rest is the best way to keep ourselves healthy, our minds intact, everything good to go, and making sure we're up to 100% and we're up to snuff so we can be sure we're not going to lose our productivity, and once again, be forced to take a rest from our body. Now, there's many different ways we can go about making sure we have a proper balance between work and rest, and I can give you a few of them. Definitely you want to give yourself that day of rest and relaxation, the you day I was talking about a bit earlier. It's an important part. I won't really expand upon it too much once again, but just to say, having a day just for you where you can do whatever you like, your favorite things, have your favorite food, your favorite meal, whatever it may be, to just relax and unwind is so beneficial and will help you in the long run. Making sure it's a day or once or twice a month, it's definitely helpful because you want to keep that in moderation, to keep it balanced, and making sure you're not going to do it too much and have it lose that luster. Moderation is key in just about everything, and the reason why is so you can actually get the proper benefits to be sure you're not just wasting time or not doing it to not gain anything from it. If you can't get a day of relaxation, it's important that you make yourself some time in some sort of facet or some sort of possibility. Whether you may be at work taking a 10 to 15 minute break, or you're looking at a paper or something like that, just some time you can do to get away from whatever it is, to get your mind off it. Because you'll notice that your mind will be much more focused and much more rejuvenated if you get that time to take away and do something else. I do a lot of writing personally, And whenever I write, there are some times where no matter what I do, no matter what I put down, no matter what I write down, does not stick. It doesn't feel right. I don't like it. It doesn't like how it sounds. So what I do in that situation is I give myself a 10 to 15 minute break doing something else. I'll make some tea. I'll go for a walk. I'll maybe eat something. I make a quick little snack. There's something that gets me away from that paper so I don't got to think about it. So that when I do come back to it, new ideas flow to my mind and new process and ways to break it down and look at it definitely flow to me as well. So taking that break can be beneficial and definitely help you out to find new ways to approach whatever it is you're struggling with. Now, in terms of work, and when it comes down to it, one thing you want to be sure that you're doing is if you're working somewhere, whether it be at home or at an office or wherever it may be, once you're done that work and you tell yourself you're done for the day, stay done. Don't open it back up again. Don't write new emails. Don't look for something else you gotta do. Stop working when you say you're gonna stop working. It's important that if you're gonna turn it off, you stay off. If you run your car all day, first of all, you're gonna run out of gas, and that's also polluting, so you don't wanna do that. But like a car, we have energy. And if we work and we tell ourselves we're gonna stop working and get back to work, we're wasting more energy, and we're putting that energy in a place where we don't need it. It's not beneficial. If you work on and off, you'll find that your productivity goes down, your work doesn't seem the same, and it starts looking a bit disheveled because not only did you take a rest in between where you were supposed to relax and stop working altogether, you came back and maybe you're even more tired now than you were before, so it doesn't make much sense. It's important that we separate on and off. If we are gonna stop working for a day, we gotta stop doing it. If you say it's 6, you're not gonna do any more work. If it's 6 o'clock comes, you better stop working. If you really have to keep pushing, make sure you do that final push and stop. Giving yourself a proper boundaries helps you out in the long run because giving yourself those boundaries lets you know that you can rest from here on out. And as we talked about before, rest is important, especially in a society that keeps telling you not to rest. Don't listen to it. We all know we need rest. We all sleep at the end of the day. So knowing when to shut it off and tell yourself no more work is pivotal to making sure that you set your proper boundaries and keep that balance between work and relaxation. Now, this one in particular, this little point I'm going to give you, comes from the fact that the grind culture we work in and we live in to this day is so focused on finding value, monetary value in every little thing you do. I want to tell you to have a hobby, at least one, that you are not going to put into a business, that you're not going to find ways to monetize. A hobby that you can have for yourself that you can enjoy without thinking about how you're going to get more money, how you're going to get some customers, what you can make, how much you're going to charge for this. Just a hobby you can use to relax and calm yourself, where you don't have to think about it. Because in a world where everything's supposed to be monetized, and we're supposed to find new ways to get more money, and we're supposed to find new lucrative deals where we're investing, where we're starting new startup businesses, or we're finding a new side hustle, it's important to have something that you can use to relax and enrich your soul, where you can use to enrich your mind and not think about all the soul-crushingness of how you're going to get more money out of it. When you put your hobby into a business, it doesn't become a hobby anymore. It's not something you can use to enjoy or to relax or unwind. It becomes a new way to work. So if all your hobbies are ways that you can get more money, you're not going to relax. You're only going from work to more work. So having one hobby, I mean, just even if you have, even if it's just one hobby that you can use that you're not going to think about monetizing in any way, shape, or form is beneficial to you. Because in that case, in that opportunity, you don't think about how you're going to get money out of people or how you're going to sell this or how you're going to do this or that. You're just focusing on relaxing, on unwinding, and not thinking about how you're going to get something out of this. Hobbies are meant to enrich us. We take up hobbies because they're fun and we enjoy them. So all we ever do is make our hobbies into a business. We're never going to enjoy things. We're going to find more things to make us miserable, more things to make us work harder, and more things to ruin that balance between work and relaxation. And that's not what we need. And now, the most important piece of advice I have to give to you at the end of the day. After all this, health is so important, but what's even more important is that you are more valuable than the work that you can provide. I'll say that to you one more time. You are more valuable than the work that you provide. You are a human being. You have thoughts, you have opinions, you have dreams, you have fears, you have friends, you have lovers, you have whatever it may be. You are a person, one of 9 million on this planet, and counting. Who knows how much it's up to right now. I say this because we are more than the work we provide. We are more than two-dimensional beings. So we gotta respect our bodies, respect our health, respect our minds, to enrich them, to make sure we're doing A-okay. Because if we're not doing A-okay, then we're only, what are we? Just bio machines meant to create more labor. That's not what we are. We are more complex than that. Human beings are sentient for a reason. We have reason. We can think about what it is we're doing. We can think about why we feel the ways we do. And it's important that you take your mind and you take your body and you take that physical and mental health and make sure it is up to snuff. Make sure you're feeling all right whenever you can. And when you're not feeling 100%, you're not even feeling 25%, let people know. Because if you don't let nobody know, then they're going to keep telling you to go to work and then keep telling you to do this. It's important that you know that you're feeling the way you feel, that you can always tell people that you don't want to come in. When you're sick, let people know. You don't go into work when you're sick. I mean, some people do, but for a lot of cases, a lot of people do not go into work if they feel too sick. And it's understandable because we got to know that when we're not feeling okay, that we can't push ourselves sometimes. When we're not feeling okay, it's not beneficial to push ourselves. We're only hurting ourselves in that case. We are more important than the work we provide. So if we're not filling up the snuff, if we're not doing our best, if we don't feel comfortable in a certain situation, we are only hurting ourselves by forcing ourselves to create more labor and more work if we got to. You are more important than the work you provide. You are more complex than what you can do. Work is important indeed, but I wanted to say this at the end of the day, your health and your mental wellness are so pivotal to your being. They keep you alive, they keep you safe, they keep you productive, they keep you happy, they keep you whatever it may be. It is more important that you feel better than the work you've let out. So that's our show for today. It's a show about wellness and health. Like I told you in the beginning, I myself personally went through a situation where I was forced to sit down and forced to stop working and forced to relax. I didn't listen to my body, and my body made me relax. I set myself a deadline that was too far apart. So you got to understand what your body's limits are. And once you understand those limits, you can benefit. You can definitely make a proper work and relaxation balance. So, what did we learn today? Health is the most important thing, period. Our health is so pivotal to everything we do. It's important to be healthy because we are more excited, we're more open, and more receptive to trying new things, to pushing our boundaries. In our current situation, our current society, we're so focused on grinding that rest and any sort of downtime is seen as a moral taboo, which is not the case at all. We all need to rest. It's important for all of us. Our mental health is important. Mental health has made a lot of strides recently to make sure we found some ways and some opportunities we can use to benefit and really find ways to make ourselves feel better. If we feel we're really stressed out, it's important to talk to people we love, people we know that understand us. It's important to take a break from whatever it is that's stressing us out, to take a walk, take some time to look at something different so we can approach it in a new way when we come back and think about it in different lights. If we can, let's get ourselves days where we can take time off entirely to do things we love and only those things that we love. If not possible, as much time as we can in between to be sure that we have some rest and relaxation in our life because relaxation is so important. Having a good balance between work and relaxation is pivotal. If we can't find that balance, we only hurt ourselves. We don't listen to our bodies and our bodies will force us to take that break. One way to find some balance is to make sure that when we're done working for the day, that we stay done. We don't pick up a new project. We don't start something new after 6 p.m. when we say we're done at 6 p.m. When it's done, it's done. We gotta separate our business from our hobbies. Because if all our hobbies turn to businesses, we're never resting, we're always working. And finally, we are more important than the labor we provide. Human beings, at the end of the day, are more complex than whatever it is they may give out. We have more thoughts and more thinking and more complex situations going on in our bodies that require more attention. So if our health is important, our health is more pivotal and our health is doing good, we feel a lot better in the long run. So that's it for today, everybody. I want to thank you all for coming with me on this journey of our health, our cruise through the cosmos, that we discussed this. And hopefully these tips or tricks may have helped you out in some way or some sort of capacity. I really appreciate it if it did. If you like the show, it'd mean the world to me if you give it a follow on Instagram or Twitter at space__coast. That's 2 underscores. And please show some love to everybody here at this wonderful media hub. Give us a follow on everything, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at DCSA Media Hub. To close us out, we got A Tribute to Wes by Little Beaver, only here on rightradio.ca.